What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Blind Power. Today I want to talk about my experience in my recent employer, Revature. So, for those who don't know, let's talk a little bit about me and why I'm talking about Reverture first. So, I am visually impaired. My name is Christian, and I worked at Revature from September 2019 till July 2020. Why such a short period, you might ask? Well, we are currently going through a global situation that means we have employment rate dropping in the United States and perhaps globally, as well as the traveling situation being a little bit harder because you can't travel right now because the current virus will spread. So, therefore, what Reverture does is relocate you to client locations. That's a very hard thing to do right now, as clients are not hiring new people, and it's very difficult to get people on projects because there's not that many projects, so they have to lay off a lot of people. And they didn't lay me off because of my visual impairment. They laid me off because of the global situation. And that's something I like about Revature. But I want to start off from the beginning, through my training, and then being hired, where I went, and all that good stuff. So let's get started. So in September 2019, I got a call for an interview from Revature. I did the interview. I studied. It was Java development. It was some server stuff, so SQL databases, and some web development stuff. Then, in October 3rd, I went to Tampa, Florida, to the training facility there that is part of the University of South Florida. There I was until January doing training, and you don't get to choose which stack, so what technologies you do. They put me in something called Pega. Since the beginning, I was like, okay, this is interesting. It's different. Pega, I never heard of it. Okay, I guess I'll give it a go. I signed a contract, and that's the end of that. I'm there. I started doing my training. It was actually very, very fun, but as well challenging. They put you through the courses of everything from Java, SQL development, so databases, and some web, so HTML, JavaScript, CSS. These are technologies for making websites and for making a lot of applications, whether it's Android or mobile, different applications. So we did that training until January, and then we started doing interviews for different companies. I got picked up by a subcontract called Cognizant, and then they put me on Verizon in Irving, Texas. The January 31st, I went to Irving. I got an apartment lease for 3 months, which was a mistake. I'll say why later on. And I worked there for about a month and a half. So about March 9th, I was told that I can't work there anymore. They said that Verizon is no longer doing subcontracts with subcontracts because there is some legal issues with Reverture, etc. Not like disputes or anything, but like Verizon doesn't want subcontractors for whatever reason. I mean, that's what was told to me. I thought, well, it could have been. Was it because of my visual impairment? Or was it because of something else? But I think it was purely because that was an honest thing about them. You know, they didn't want subcontractors because the project we were working on was kind of top secret, and that was understood. You know, you don't want someone doing government work who is subcontracting, who goes through the HR. You have to go through 2 HRs before you can even touch the person working at your company. That's a bit of a barrier, and that's a barrier that no employer wants, to have to go through 2 HR departments before you can get to the actual HR department for the person you're hiring, the contractor. So that's an issue for them, and I worked there until the 9th. So I actually learned a lot. I learned a lot about telephony, and there's a lot of stuff that I learned. A lot of really, really cool stuff regarding technologies. So Pega, I learned a lot about Pega, how it works. It's actually kind of interesting how it works, but I'll talk about Pega after the whole Reverture thing, about how I feel about Pega, which is kind of a roller coaster. So, alright. So then on the 9th, I said, okay, what am I going to do? I got an apartment lease, which is a mistake, for 3 months. I got that for 3 months. So I stayed there in Irving until the 17th. I was waiting. I don't know what I was waiting for. I was in my apartment and I kept hearing the whole lockdown. They're shutting down this, shutting down that. You know, the whole global pandemic. I was like, what am I going to do? I said, well, that morning on the 17th, I said, I'm going to call a furniture throwaway company. Even though I spent a lot of money on the moving, right? I said, you know what? I'd rather lose that money, go home, and not stay stuck for who knows how long in Texas. Maybe even, with not being able to pay bills because, furlough or whatever the case may be. So I said, okay, I'm going to go home. I just called the furniture company. They took everything out of the apartment for $300. I bought a plane ticket that same day after the furniture people came in. And I woke up that 17th not even realizing that night I'd be going home. I just did it in a snap of a finger. Because I waited 8 days thinking, okay, how am I going to do this? I got to sell all this stuff. And, I made a terrible mistake making a lease. And people told me, don't make a lease. Don't do a lease. Don't do a lease. But I just said, how likely is a project to go wrong, is what I said. Well, apparently very likely. It's not that likely in normal circumstances, but, due to the global situation, I imagine that could have been an excuse for them to get me out of Verizon as well. So the reason why they got me out of Verizon, they said one thing, but I don't know. I'm skeptical when they said that I can't be there because I'm a subcontractor. What they said makes sense, but I think it could have been because of the global pandemic. Who knows? Anywho, it's like that lasted so little, and they said that it's not likely for a project to get canceled like that. But I guess it does happen, especially with the whole situation that went on. The beginning of the situation was right there when I was in Irving. So I'm calling it global situation. I can't say specifically. You guys know what I mean. Otherwise, YouTube's algorithm doesn't like me. So that's why I'm saying global situation. When I went home, a couple weeks, about a month and a half later, I got paid all through April and part of May. And then in May, I got a message saying that I'm going to be furloughed. Furloughed means that I have an option to continue being part of Revature if I don't find a job by the end date of the furlough. So the furlough ended this month, so July, and they said, okay, if you don't find a job, then I got an email from Reverture saying, hey, we have a contract that is available, but you have to travel, you have to relocate. And I said, I can't relocate. I mean, going on a plane right now, that's suicide right now. Through the whole global situation right now, traveling on a plane to go somewhere else, no. So, they didn't reply back. I didn't get a reply back after I messaged them. Simply, a week and a half later, I got a message saying, your furlough has ended. Please sign the mutual release form. So then I signed that, and I'm no longer part of Revature. That's why I'm making this video. So Revature is a great company to get started. I thank them for that couple of almost a year, like 9 months of experience. I thank them for that because they always ask everywhere you go, do you have experience? Now I have something under my belt to show that yes, I worked with Reverture. I went to Verizon. I worked there for X amount of time. The important thing is, I could say I was a software engineer for 9 months. I don't have to specify how long I lasted in Verizon. I don't have to say how long I was training. Simply saying, hey, I was a software engineer in this job for 9 months. Now that under my belt is great because now it's easier to get that second job. Of course, due to the current global situation, it's not as easy as it normally would be. So then, that's it. Now I'm going to talk about Pega, the programming platform they had me learn. So Pega is low code, no code. Pega means that you don't have to program. It's all like you click a mouse, you click, click, click. It's all like visual. All you do is click here, click there, an occasional SQL command, which is an occasional advanced programming thing, and that's it. Some programming, but it doesn't really require much programming. It's all visual, all drag and drop. I was skeptical at first, and then I thought, man, this is cool. It's powerful, and I see the advantage of it. You can get a lot of stuff done in a lot shorter time. But guess what? It isn't. I thought it's interesting, and I did it, but I didn't feel like when I do mobile or when I do my Java stuff, like advanced development, any pure software development is what I enjoy. I enjoy getting my hands dirty with the code, seeing the product come out, being involved in the release of the product. That's what I enjoy. And doing Pega is like I'm involved in the release, but the development part is kind of like it doesn't feel like you're coding. It feels like you're designing. And I don't know. I don't want to say Pega's bad, because it's actually really good. It just wasn't for me, and that's why I'm like, well, Reverture was a great experience, but at least I could have been doing Pega for a long time, and it would have been something that I wouldn't have been exactly excited about, but I would have been doing software engineering, which is what matters to me. Any kind of software engineering that I'm doing, I can keep myself happy. So I was happy with what I was doing at Revature. Pega may have not been the exact thing I was imagining, but it was great. It was fun. Being in an environment that is the environment that I've always dreamed to be in. Since I was a kid, I've always dreamed to be a software engineer, and I did it. I did it for 9 months, and I'm going to continue doing it. And I'm actually working on a project, now that I'm not with Reverture, on an app, so that I'm going to be a indie developer, so independent developer, making my own stuff until I get another employment. And, even if I get another employment, I'm still going to do that independent developer stuff on the side. So, now that I talk about Reverture, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the new project that I'm working on that is coming out in the next couple weeks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to be a software engineer, definitely go apply to Revature. They're a good company. Just keep in mind that when you apply, you get locked into a 2-year contract unless you furloughed or let go for a national emergency like right now, or whatever, or mutual release for whatever reason. You may not like what you're doing, and they may negotiate something with you for a mutual release. But most of the time, you're locked into that 2-year contract. So, if you like software engineering, go apply. And it's a great experience. At least you get your hands dirty in software engineering. It may not be exactly what you want. It may be something random. But guess what? At least you can say you have the experience. And we all have to start somewhere doing something that we don't expect. After you do what you don't expect, then you can go directly into what you want. Software engineering is like that. You got to jam that foot in the door. Once you got your foot in the door, you can pry the door open with your foot and walk in the door. That's how software engineering works. So, Reverture, you have, I say, a 99% chance of, being in the company. There's a chance that you may not make the training and they drop you with a mutual release. But if you do your job well and you keep up your work in the training, you will not get dropped. It's a great program. It's a great thing. I do not regret at all applying for Revature and being with Revature. It was a great experience. I met a lot of awesome people there, and people that I say, hey, I have connections with these people on LinkedIn who I can say, hey, I need a job or they need a job. We can help each other out. Software engineering community is a very tight-knit community. Everybody wants to help others. There's a lot of that, helping others thing, because people who are in this industry love what they do. And that environment is what you get with Reverture. And if you're inspired by software engineering, then it's a great position for you. I enjoyed my time there. Thank you, Revature, for having me in your company, and thank you everybody there for teaching me everything that I learned. Honestly, I could say that I'm a total different person now when it comes to my software engineering habits. Learned a lot of new things that I probably would have had to learn while on the job instead of through training, and I'm grateful for that. So, alright, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Hi, this is me from the future. I'm editing this video and I realized I left something out. Reverture is very, very, very accessible. They actually provided accommodations for my visual disability, such as being able to sit in the front for my training, as well as giving me extra time in things that I needed, as well as assistance. For example, some papers I needed help signing, and I was able to go to HR and somebody was able to help me. And it was so helpful. I am impressed of how accessible they are. They are very, very, very disability friendly. So I totally back their company. They're awesome. So that's what I forgot to say, that they are very accessible, and I congratulate them for that, because not all companies are that helpful for people with disabilities, and Reverture is. There's definitely no discrimination at all, and I totally love that and wish more companies were like them. Hit the subscribe button and remember to enable the notification bell to get all notifications of blind power uploads. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.